Hello, everybody, and welcome to That's Football. What a weekend of football we've had. Arsenal. I want to talk about Arsenal, but I also want to talk about Mitrovic because I've sort of been called a bit of a hypocrite this weekend because last weekend I spent so much time going on about VAR, didn't I, and saying it's a disgrace and it's going to come to a club near you. And obviously my football club supposedly benefited from Fulham's fallout yesterday. I actually think the refereeing decisions were spot on, but where I have an issue again, unfortunately, is with the mainstream media, the ex-player circus saying that Mitrovic should have the book thrown at him and he should have, a 10-match ban or something like that. I think a 4-match ban is going to be probably sufficient. I personally, look, this is where you can make a big impact on respect for referees, but he gave him a nudge and he got in his face. Football is a passionate game. Look, Mitrovic shouldn't have done it. An apology, full and frank apology, 4-match ban. Let's move on. I think if we make it any more than that, we're being a little bit over the top, I think. Di Canio got a massive ban years ago for pushing the referee over. But look, Bruno Fernandes touched the linesman a few weeks ago. I don't think he should have got a yellow card or a red card for that. I think Mitrovic's was worse because it was aggressive. He got in his face afterwards. He got the red card. But I wouldn't be going with an extended ban. My suspicion is the Premier League, the Referees Association, whatever they're called, are completely up their own backside. They back each other when they make bad decisions, and now they've got an opportunity to protect their referees and offer a stupid ban. So I expect a big ban coming from Mitrovic, but I think, don't know what people think in the chat. Personally, I think 3 or 4 matches is absolutely sufficient, and it would be such a shame for Fulham's fantastic season to fall apart because of that, which at the end of the day, there has to be a message that you can't touch referees like that, but the message goes out the same anyway. People aren't going to go, oh, he's got an 8-match ban. People are going to go, he got sent off because he touched the referee. He's getting a 3-match ban for it. The message is still strong. So that's my stance on that. Don't know what your thoughts are. But I wanted to talk about Arsenal, and even though I wanted to talk about Arsenal, I'm still not giving them the headlines I think they deserve because, look, we've run out. I keep saying this every week. We're almost running out of superlatives for Arsenal. They were absolutely fantastic yesterday. That win against Crystal Palace, who had sacked their manager on Friday and ultimately put in their worst performance of the season, arguably. There was no new manager bounce. I think the end of the road with Vieira was there for Palace and that's their decision. But I really don't see the point in sacking him before this game because ultimately the one thing that Palace's problem has been is scoring goals, but defensively they've been reasonable since Christmas. They just can't score goals. What happens against the Arsenal at the Emirates, who've just had a massive game on Thursday night? They get absolutely battered and Arsenal destroy them. And I think, look, I've been a big singer of Manchester United's chemistry and stamina this season. Man United haven't lost a game in a cup competition this season. We won the Carabao Cup, we're into the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and we're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. It's amazing, but it's even more amazing when you look at the fact that we've played a game every 3.5 days since December the 27th. But you've got to throw Arsenal into that category now. Arsenal are playing Thursday, Sunday, which I think is ridiculously hard, and it's just not impacting them. Thursday night, look, they made a few changes. It wasn't their best team, but a lot of their players did play. What happens? Goes to extra time, goes to penalties. It's a really big loss for them. I know not a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, well, we don't care, and you're right not to care. I said it on Twitter on Thursday night. As disappointing as that is, I think it'll have a big impact on your title hopes, which has to be the priority. But there was still an effort there. There was still a game that was going on after 10 o'clock on Thursday night, and then you're playing at 2 o'clock on Sunday. I don't care whether you're Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal. That's a big ask for any team to be playing past 10 o'clock on a Thursday night and then playing at 2 o'clock on a Sunday. You're literally talking about 2 days rest, really. You've got Friday, Saturday, and then you're playing again. They blew Crystal Palace away. They blew them away. And Arsenal, very, very impressive. And of course, I look at things, I see things, they get recommended. It's the same nonsense, which doesn't do Arsenal any favours. Arsenal are going to win the league. Arsenal are Premier League champions. And it's just clickbait nonsense. And I'm not even an Arsenal fan, but I feel like resisting it for Arsenal fans. All these people who are saying, oh, they're going to win the league, they're champions. They're doing it for clicks and likes. They're doing it because they want to appeal to Arsenal fans. I don't do it for that reason. I don't think you watch for that reason. You watch it because, you know what? To be fair, I said I fancied Arteta way before anybody else did, way before Arsenal fans did. And I'll say the same about Potter with Chelsea, which is a separate target, it's a separate conversation. But I do think that that Arteta's done a great job, but I don't think it does Arsenal any favours when people start going, they're going to win the league, they're going to win the league. They're the best team in the league. They play the best football in the league. As of today, they deserve to win the league. They play better football than City. They've been the best team all season. They've been top most. They are the best team. But they haven't won the league because they've got to go to the Etihad. And if they go to the Etihad and lose, they've only got a 2-point gap. And a 2-point gap could be a draw and Man City win, and Man City sort their goal difference out better than Arsenal. So it's not over, and Arsenal know that, Arsenal fans know that, and I know that. It's not over. If it was over today, Arsenal would quite rightly be given that Premier League trophy, and they would be the best team, and everybody would have to accept it because they are. But it's not over. And just because you smash Palace and you smash Fulham, very good results, but it ain't over. And Arsenal and Arteta don't think it's over, and their fans don't think it's over. So anybody who's chanting that Arsenal are going to win the league easy, have you looked at the run-in? I think they've got to play Liverpool away, they've got to play Man City away. Straight away, that could be 6 points dropped. Man City are capable of winning every single game because they've done it before. If Man City win every single game, that means they beat Arsenal, and if Arsenal lose to Liverpool at Anfield, Man City win the league. There are other games as well where Arsenal could drop points. But, you know, I've said before I'd rather Arsenal win it over Manchester City, and I do believe that the positive for Arsenal is they look like they're going to win the league. They look like the best side. They look like the team that is in the right mood to do it. They've got big players coming back like Jesus. Thomas Partey's fit again. They've got good signings like Jorginho on Trossard, which I think was a masterstroke, by the way. I said at the time, some Arsenal fans were getting a bit moody because they got Jorginho over Caicedo. Better to get something than nothing, and you actually brought in an experienced player that knows how to win titles in this league. Trossard has been a revelation and has a point to prove. And I'll tell you what, again, I'll say it again, not being in the Europa League is absolutely huge. It's absolutely huge for Arsenal. There probably was a momentary disappointment, but not being in the Europa League for Arsenal is massive because you're not in the FA Cup, you're not in the Champions League, you're not in the Europa League, you're just in the Premier League, and every game now gets your full attention. And I think Arsenal will never, I've said this a few times and I'll say it again, Arsenal will never be in a position like this where they can win the Premier League. They won't. I don't think it's going to happen next year. I think that we talk about Man United and Qatar. We know about Abu Dhabi and Man City, Saudi Arabia and Newcastle, Todd Boehly at Chelsea, Liverpool's bounce back. That's 5 teams that next season should all be better. Arsenal don't have that super wealth. They'll still be there or thereabouts, but I think next season will be more competitive. It's a 2-horse race. Next season, maybe Man City are better than everyone again, or there is no race, or maybe 2 or 3 other clubs get in the race. So the time is now for Arsenal, and they've got to take this opportunity. But I don't think pressure helps them, because I'll always go back to this. At the start of the season, did anyone say Arsenal was going to win the league? Did anyone really expect Arsenal to get top 4? No, they didn't. They're in the title race. They deserve to be in the title race. And at the moment, they deserve to win the title. But you don't win the title undeserved. So pressure needs to be taken off Arsenal. I personally would say this. Man City have got to be favourites to win this tournament because they have a game at Etihad where they can close the gap to 2 points, and they're capable of winning every single game. We don't know about Arsenal yet. We've never seen them in this position. So personally, I think the pressure's on Man City, and I think that sort of helps Arsenal. Get your comments below. Let me think. Let me tell what you think. And yeah, look, Mitrovic, what are your thoughts? I personally think a 3 or 4 match ban is fine. Some people are talking about 8, 9, 10 man match bans. You can't touch a referee. You can't. You know what I actually thought Mitrovic did wrong? I think grabbing the referee's arm probably was going to get him a red card, but to go into his face like that was probably what made it worse, because it made it a double-edged sword of aggression. But I think hopefully common sense will prevail. You know, the message is you can't touch referees, and he's had a red card instantly. Do you need to give him a 10-match ban? I don't think it was sufficient for that. Thanks everyone for watching. Let me know. Smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you all soon.